In my first week in Valladolid, a college bus run was arranged for Salamanca. It seems uncanny now that at that point we were making our first acquaintance with a place that was to become so very familiar to us, with our college moving there in 1988 after 217 years in Valladolid. This is our third location in Spain. We are inclined simply to talk of the Scots College Spain. We are the Spaniards. That is what we call ourselves. And that is how we are called by others who didn't have that privilege of spending time in the Scots College Spain. Personally, I quite like the line in the Blair's College song, "Here they come, the noble Spaniards." The young students at the junior seminary sang the praises of those who had been students in Blair's before them. Our strong attachment to the old college, for those of us who lived there, will never die. But we have been able to transfer our love and loyalty to our new home in Salamanca. At first, the 1960s building needed a serious upgrade, and it was eventually refurbished from the ground up in 1996, and effectively a new building was created. The college was rededicated at that point in the presence of many bishops and priests from Scotland, giving the college due recognition for its place in the story of Scottish Catholicism. Its presence in Salamanca was also recognised on that occasion by the civil authorities, with Cardinal Thomas winning the principal visitor, receiving the Spanish equivalent of the freedom of the city from the mayor, Don Julian Lanzarote. We are enormously proud of our new college. It is a beautiful building, and we feel at home there when we visit. It has a bright cloister and a simple chapel with colourful modern stained glass, and a copy of the college altar in Valladolid with the twin symbols of St Andrew's cross and the scallop shell of St James, patron of Spain. Salamanca itself is an attractive city with its centuries-old stone buildings, its world-famous Plaza Mayor, and its two universities, and its two cathedrals, the old from the 12th century, side by side with the new, which is from the 16th century, forming effectively one building. There are 55 Scottish priests and bishops who can call themselves Spaniards, who spent some time as a member of the college community, either as a student or as a priest on the staff, or both. It is to one of these that I dedicate this commemorative video, the Right Reverend Monsignor Maurice Taylor, Emeritus Bishop of Galloway. He had not been a student in Valladolid, but he and many of us fell hopelessly in love with the college, its history and tradition, and the land of Spain. I like to say this is an incurable condition from which I do not wish to be cured. Bishop Maurice is to this day not only an active member of the Spaniards, but one of its most active members. He was my first rector in Valladolid, and it was he who organised the 200th anniversary of this same event in 1971. I missed that, only arriving as a first-year student some months later, but the students were still talking about it then. The college had experienced some tremendous days with many visitors from Scotland, bishops, priests, and family and friends of some of the students, as well as local dignitaries. Visitors were like gold dust to us in Valladolid. At times you could feel very far from Scotland, and we were usually very late in hearing any important news from home. The presence of so many visitors at the one time also conveyed the sense that the considerable contribution that the Valladolid College had made to the church in Scotland was being given due recognition. I also dedicate this video to Father Michael Briody, the present rector, and the spiritual director, Father Stuart Chalmers, who have had in the last year that experience of some of their predecessors in holding the fort, because for different times, or different reasons at different times, the Peninsular War, the Spanish Civil War, the Second World War, it was not possible to have any students in residence. The pandemic has repeated that experience. So we thank them for their sense of duty, Father Tom and Father Stuart, and assure them of our prayers. It was the intention of the San Ambrosio Society, the former students and staff, to be in Valladolid at this time. Oh well, the best laid plans of mice and men, like a million other things, the pandemic put paid to that. Perhaps next year. Lastly, there's a very drinkable Spanish brandy called Carlos III, named after a Spanish king, Charles III. He was the king who reversed his earlier decision and gave the Reverend John Geddes a Madrid property back. He gave permission for the move to Valladolid and ordered that we should be given the Jesuit College of St. Ambrose. One of the king's ministers revealed to John Geddes that the king knows of you very well and has spoken of you to me several times, and you may be assured he wishes well to you. John Geddes had a lifelong policy of rubbing shoulders with the high and mighty, not for his own good, but for advancing the cause of Scottish Catholicism at home and abroad, and he was very successful at it. In 1778, 7 years after the college was established in Valladolid, King Charles bestowed the title Royal on the college, thus making it part of the patrimony of the Spanish crown, a situation which still exists to this day. Let me raise an imaginary glass to Carlos III, King Charles III, our benefactor, and to the Reverend John Geddes, later a bishop in Scotland, to whom we owe the continued existence of the Scots College, Spain. Viva España! Viva el Real Colegio de Escoceses! Ojalá que pronto nuestro colegio se llene de nuevo con un nutrido grupo de jóvenes discerniendo si el Señor les está llamando a su santo sacerdocio. Long live the Royal Scots College. May our corridors soon echo again to the sound of a healthy community of young men discerning the call of the Lord to priesthood.